And the reason we're starting off on the dam, guys, is because this is very much a multi-species expedition. We might look for bass, you know, black bass, white bass, walleyes, crappies, drum, and we know because we're on a big rock dam that everybody lives here, and like that, oh, and he came off. Oh, that was too good to be true. Everybody lives on these dams, you know, so starting on a dam face first thing in the morning is a good call. The other thing is shad will always congregate on dam faces, so that's a good thing as well. You always have some resident fish around riprap no matter what. And then on top of that, I'm starting with a gulp minnow, a 3-inch gulp minnow on a 3/16 ounce underspin head, which means everybody will bite it. If I get this in front of a walleye, he's got a good shot at biting it. A crappie will likely bite it. Any of the bass family will very likely bite this. So I'm as multi-species as I can get first thing in the morning, just until we figure out what the lake's gonna give us. And looking at the graph, there's fish all over on this dam, guys, if you look, and it's just a matter of figuring out how to get them to bite. What flavor are they and how do I get them to bite? Big fish eat little fish, and a gulp minnow always puts you in the hunt. Got him. There we go, and that's why you fish the corner of the point right here. There's a whoop out of the trolling motor. Those slackline jig bites are fun, guys, I ain't lying. Catching white bass that size on 6-pound test and a little medium light rod. And it feels to me like the right Revo Rocket's a perfect reel for white bass and wipers, I always feel like. And there we go, that's another one. It's a pretty good pattern we got working out right here already. All things considered, we'll take it. And these guys got some shoulders. You know, we showed you the ones we caught here in fall, but look, you know, those were 1.5 years ago. These are probably those same fish. They're just growing up, and that's a perfect eating size white bass. Look at all the blue hues and great colors on them, kind of saltwater looking fish almost. Awesome fish. Biggest white bass we caught that day were important because they were heavily located on the corners of the dam. So you have a big giant even dam face, right? And you could find white bass scattered all up and down it. But the larger ones were right on the corners of the dam where the broken rock rotates back and basically goes into a no boat zone because they don't want boats right in the spillway, understandably. We were fishing right up against that edge, not crossing it, but fishing right up against the edge of the no boat zone and making long throws all around that corner of the dam and let the bait sink, snap it up, let it sink. It's either a line watch deal where you're just watching the line as the bait goes down, or you'll feel the distinct bites. Interestingly enough, the biggest fish were the most subtle bites, the smallest fish were the most aggressive bites, and I found that very common with smallmouth bass as well. All right, here we go. We're keeping working this corner right here. So, I mean, it effectively is a main lake point as you're gonna get. I mean, we've got the big corner of the dam, we've got the hard rock right there, we've got immediate access to the main basin of the lake, we got the wind blowing in on it, we got a lot of reasons why this should be a killer spot to fish. And it's just, you know, sometimes you can't fight it. As much as I came here, I mean, you can look, I threw in jerk baits, crankbaits, spinner baits, 4 different crankbaits, lipless crankbait, and the only thing I'm getting bit on is the jig again. So you can't fight it. You know, this is why I say your best equipment should be your finesse jigging equipment. You should be able to present an 1/8 to maybe a 1/2 ounce jig, an 1/8 or a quarter, 90% of the time for me. You should be able to present that, whether it be a minnow body, a power grub, a tube jig, a pro shad, a flat nose minnow, a pro twitch tail. There's a bajillion baits that can go on an 1/8 ounce or 1/4 ounce jig head, and it will put you in the hunt for everybody. It's not too big, it's not too small. You can fish at any depth range, and it is, in my mind, the most universal bait there is, fresh or salt water. And therefore, my boat's got multiple of them in the rod blocker at any given day, and they're always what I end up grabbing in the event that, you know, the fish aren't biting well. If they're biting really good, you can catch them on a lot of stuff, but when they're not, the finesse jig can be a great call. You can fish it high in the water column, you can fish it on the bottom, you know, you can fish it fast or slow. But really, in my mind, half of it has more to do with just giving fish no reason to not bite it. So it's not so much of, it has all these great qualities, it has this just general edible look to it, you know? It's just more or less fishy looking. In my case, it's either max scent or gulp most of the time. And if you're gonna use power bait, max scent, or gulp, you're gonna get flavor that's gonna help you always too. such that like that last one that bit it, they just swallow it. It's just gone. Your jig is gone. You're not, you know, there's no hurry for a hook set. Now I'm just looking, guys, and it don't take a genius to figure out there's a big shade line against that hard piece of concrete structure right there. Got him right there. That was another deep one, guys, and that's a big one there too. Look at him go. I'll just stick to finesse jigging, that'll be fine. I almost find myself making excuses for why we throw the jig so much, but you know why we throw the jig so much? Because it works so much. We just got back from a trip to South Florida and caught all of our fish doing exactly what we're doing right now. That's another good size one, guys. Oh, there he goes. Revo Rocket is such a perfect reel for dealing with wipers. Nice one, guys, nice one. Nice fish, look at that. That's a nice one. All right, we're gonna have to anchor the boat right here. This one's gonna be interesting. I'm gonna have to get a net out. That's a nice one, guys. That's a nice one. Play nice fish, play nice fish. Oh, I knew he was gonna do that. Because I don't want to play nice. The shoulders on that one, guys. That will work. That's why we came to John Martin. You know, like I said, we were fishing some of the other lakes around here, and just the conditions just weren't that good. And we're like, why would we do that when we have a fantastic fishery like this one right here? So we came to check it out. The thing about the white bass is you got to have enough power to land them. They might not be giant fish, but they're big enough fish that you've got to have enough power to land them. And we did that with medium light tackle. So you need to realize that you're going to have to fight those fish in open water, and it's not really an issue. We could have caught a wiper while we were down there as well. Because we're in open water, even still the fluorocarbon is no problem. So 6-pound fluorocarbon in open water, even really big fish. I've landed a 20-pound catfish on that. The biggest thing is you just got to be patient with the fish, and letting those white bass throb around out there in open water for a little bit before you pull them to the boat is a very key thing, and we didn't have any problem landing any of the fish that day. Got him. It looks like I'm whacking them hard, but it's because there's so much slack between you and the fish. It's the only way you can get them to bite. And so, remember I said about 3 minutes ago, guys, we were gonna work this corner over real good? This is why we're working this corner over. Oh, bud. And matching our tackle to our fish. I mean, you get a really good pull out of wipers this size. That guy's nowhere near as big as the last one, but whatever. He's still pulling my string for real. And you can see that little bright colored minnow again. I really got to learn to fish that minnow. Oof, that fish is heavy. What are you doing that with? That's a heavy, thick fish, guys. Look at the bellies on him. I don't even get him turned around where you can see his belly without hurting myself, but look at the belly on this fish, guys. I mean, the big old fat bellies on him, and ouch. Watch out, they're extremely sharp.